Act 3, Scene 2. Now, this is in essentially like, people often do it as the bedroom, but it's a private room in the castle. Usually they do it as the bedroom, but it's a place where they can speak to each other openly and freely, away from the eyes of other people. Okay? So you remember in the previous scene, he says, each man be master of his own time until 7 o'clock. So this is that little bit of time before dinner. Okay? Lady Macbeth, nice and loud, please.
Is Banquo gone from court?
Aye, madam, but returns again tonight.
Say to the king, I will attend his leisure, for few words.
Madam, I will.
Good. So this is not that important, but what we do learn, of course, is that Banquo has left. Okay, but of course there's a sense here. So Banquo has left. Now, of course, we know that he's going to be murdered, or they're going to try to murder him. But of course, there's a sense here that she has no knowledge of the plan, right? So this question here actually shows that she is currently ignorant of Macbeth's plans, right?
Meals had all spent, while desires got with content. It's safer to be that which we destroy, than by destruction, go on doubtful joy.
Good. So this is interesting, right? Because she kind of feels the same way that he feels. And in a way, this mirrors to be thus is nothing but to be safely thus, right? Nothing is had, all is spent, where our desire is got without content. So to be content is to be happy. So there's no point in having what you want if it makes you unhappy. So there's this idea here that she is also unsatisfied, right? 'Tis safer to be that which we destroy than by destruction dwell in doubtful joy. Now this, of course, is mirroring Macbeth, and the anxiety is that it is better to be dead, right? It's better to be the thing that was being killed than it is to dwell. Now to dwell means to sort of like wait and exist in doubtful joy. Doubtful joy is an oxymoron, which is the idea that you can't really be happy in your situation if you're worried about being destroyed. Do you see what I'm saying? It's the same thing as what Macbeth is feeling. She feels this kind of uncomfortableness. Now again, the point is, she's not meant to be queen. So therefore, she doesn't really know how to be a queen. All she does is worry a lot. Enter Macbeth.
How now, my lord? Why do you keep alone? Or sorry fancies your companions making?
Good. So why do you keep alone? Now, sorriest fancies, underline that please. Now a fancy is like a fantasy, and sorriest means sad. So he's with his bad thoughts. So his only company is his thoughts, and his thoughts are negative, right? He's almost having a bit of a sort of like a doom spiral in his brain, and she's like, you're just literally on your own thinking about stuff, and they're bad thoughts. These are the same thoughts in Act 2, Scene 2. So Act 2, Scene 2, she says that these thoughts will make you mad, and again, she's proven correct. If you dwell in your mind on the trauma that you've done, you go crazy. Lady.
Using those thoughts that should indeed have died, with deadly think on. Things without all remedy should be without regard. What's done is done.
Yeah, this is her famous line, right? What's done is done. So thoughts which should indeed have died, with them that they do think on. Now them is Duncan. So her attitude is, Duncan is dead, and therefore don't think about it. So her whole vibe is basically move on, right? Things without remedy should be without regard. So a remedy is a cure, should be without regard. So thought. So her idea, her argument, if you like, at this point is, what's the point in thinking about something? What's the point in thinking about something you can't do anything about? Like, what's the point? right? You can't fix it. You can't unkill Duncan. So why bother thinking about it? What's done is done, right? Move on. What is she misunderstanding massively here? What's she misunderstanding massively? It's really simple. She says to him, don't think about it. There's no point in thinking about it because you can't change it, so don't think about it. Don't think about it. Move on. You can't do anything about it. Don't think about it.
Well, she's not done it. He's starting.
Yes, right? He's not choosing to think about it, is he? Like, if you have bad thoughts, nobody sits there thinking, I want to have bad thoughts. Bad thoughts come into your mind, and you have to deal with them. So the thing she does not understand about mental health, right, is about this issue of choice, right? She thinks that he is choosing to have these thoughts. And we know that he is not choosing, right? He is, in a way, I'll add this down, he is a victim of his thoughts. But she doesn't get that at all. Now, at the end of the play, when she goes mad and dies, she finally understands, right? But he is not choosing. Are you happy with that? But she's just like, yeah, what's the point? What's the point? Move on, it's done. Then he says some really weird stuff, right? We have scotched the snake, not killed it. Now, scotched means to burn, like scorch, right? So it's this idea about injure. So we have injured the snake, not killed it. Which, of course, what he's saying is the task is incomplete. Okay? If the snake is his enemy or the devil, he's like, I've done part of the job, I've killed Duncan, but until Banquo is dead, I can't be happy. So he's really talking about Banquo. Now, the snake is an interesting thing, because it could mean many things. It could be the devil, but it could also just be his thoughts. He's like, I can't be clear of my thoughts until I've killed Banquo. She'll close and be herself. So the wound of the snake will heal and be herself, whilst our poor Malice remains in danger of her former tooth. So, if we don't kill the snake will heal and bite us. But I think it's worth saying at this point that what he's saying doesn't make a lot of sense, right? She says to him, get over it. And he goes, we've not killed the snake and it will heal and bite us. And she's a bit like, okay, that's an unusual thing to say, right? But let the frame of things disjoint. Both the worlds suffer. Here we will eat our meal in fear and sleep, in the affliction of these terrible dreams. So he talks about his fear, sleep in the affliction of terrible dreams. So nightmares. Now both the worlds suffer. So one world is the living world, right, and the other world is the world of sleep or dreams. So what he says here is that at the minute I'm suffering double. When I'm awake, I'm suffering my thoughts. When I'm asleep, I have nightmares. So he finds no peace. At this point there is no peace for him at all. That shake us nightly. Sleep in the affliction of these terrible dreams that shake us nightly. Better to be with the dead, whom we to gain our peace have sent to peace, than on the torture of the mind to lie in restless ecstasy. So I'd rather be dead than have these thoughts, right? Restless ecstasy is just a word. It's just an idea for pain. Duncan is in his grave. After life's fitful fever, he sleeps well. Treason has done his worst. So remember, treason is the crime of betrayal, killing of going against you. Nor steel, nor poison, malice domestic, foreign levy, nothing. That's an army. Can touch him further. So, dead equals safe. Now that to me is an amazing speech, because what he's talking about is about mental health, right? In a time before they understood mental health, that he is suffering from these thoughts. And he says here, when I'm awake, I live in fear. When I'm asleep, I suffer from nightmares. I would rather be dead, right? It is better for me to be dead when nothing can hurt me, right? Steel, swords, daggers, poison, what they put in the cup, malice domestic, which is like your hatred of your friends, of your close people, foreign levies, armies. Nothing can hurt him, right? But of course, again, this is in a society where life is precious, right? Life is given by God. To wish to be dead is a blasphemy, right? So these thoughts here, are blasphemous, right? Okay? Blasphemous, so against God. Because of course the idea is that God gives you life and you should cherish your life. He's somebody who wants to throw away his life. Any questions on this bit? Okay. Lady Macbeth. Oh, I'm going to swap it over. Yeah.
Come on, gentle my lord, sleek o'er your rugged look, be bright and jovial among your destiny.
Yeah, so to sleek over means to sleek is to smooth over. So she says to him, you look upset, right? Rugged is like rough. So she's trying to ask him to pretend, right? Be bright and jovial among your guests tonight. So she's asking him to pretend, right? Can you be the innocent flower? Can you look one way and think another way? So her desperation here, I think it is desperation, is that she goes, my husband is mad and we're having a party tonight with everybody coming. So when they turn up and he's like this, what's going to happen to us, right? So she does this, right? Come on, trying to persuade him. Come on, calm down. Cheer up. Oh, so I shall, love. So I shall. I really need you to focus, right? It's time to wind me up. Don't be sorry and do it again, though. Okay? So shall I, love, and so pray you. Let your remembrance apply to Banquo. Present him eminence, both with eye and tongue. So this is a lie, right? So he says when Banquo turns up, right, treat him well, with your eye and with your tongue. So speak well of him. So he's not telling her the truth. She thinks Banquo is going to turn up. Unsafe the while that we must lave our honours in these flattering streams. To lave means to wash. In these flattering streams, and make our faces vizards of our hearts, disguising what they are. So a vizard is a mask. So now he's the one that's saying to her, we need to pretend, right? When you see Banquo, right, treat him well. We need to let ourselves be washed by the flatterers, right? Again, another reference to streams, rivers and streams. So when these people turn up, at the party, let them flatter us, right? Let them be nice to us. Let's be nice to them. Let's hide what we really are. Okay?
You must leave this.
Yeah, this is a great line, right? Notice the word must. You must leave this. Because he's still talking crazy, right? But this is a very desperate line here. Oh, full of scorpions is my mind, dear wife. Okay. Now this quotation is super interesting because he kind of blurts it out. He kind of blurts it out, right? Now again, notice the O. What's the O mean? Emotion, right? So this is not a line that he says. This is not a line that he says calmly. He blurts it out. Oh, right. Now it's probably pain. Full of scorpions is my mind. Full of scorpions is my mind. Now the question is, just circle scorpions. Yeah, but come on. You could have written, full of beetles is my mind, full of spiders is my mind, right? Why a scorpion? When you hear scorpion, notice scorpions. Why do you think Shakespeare chooses that particular creature? Right? What are the connotations of a scorpion? Okay, I'll give you half a minute to talk about it, right? What are the connotations? Right, thoughts on this please. Scorpions. Yes.
They're poisonous, they're deadly. Same could be also referring to his thoughts and how his thoughts are deadly to himself.
Very good. Good, deadly to himself. So they're deadly, so they're poisonous. They're poisonous. Their poison is deadly. Yeah. Why? Yeah. So they're small, and you can they can sting you. Yeah. Tricky, small, sneaky. Yeah.
Or stuff was talking about, they often hide under places so you can't see them. And also the smaller they are, the more poisonous they are.
Very good. Right. So they're hidden. Good. Yeah.
Isn't that story about the scorpion
Yeah. Good. Well, that'd be a fable, yeah. So there's a sense about they are creatures of the trade, right? Now this is all very good. This is what we can analyse, okay? Now when we're choosing quotes to analyse, this one's great because you have to say what you think. So I'm going to add some of these things down. So number one, they are deadly. Okay, they have a sting, and the sting is poisonous. Alpha, your one about them being sort of like hidden. So they're hidden and they're small, deadly to the self, so that they sting his brain. The last one, which I always think is that they're quite sharp little creatures. So I think like lots of legs, sort of like digging, like almost like poking his brain. So they kind of, I'm going to put here, they're sharp, and they kind of scuttle when they move. So you get this image of his brain sort of being poked all the time, like little electric sparks poking his brain. And at some point, maybe there'll be something more deadly. But it's a great line because it kind of gives a sense of what he's feeling. It's almost like the thoughts are coming to him so fast and so deadly that he can't control them. And he blurts it out, right? Dear wife. He kind of yells it at her. Thou knowest that Banquo and his Fleance lives. So this, of course, is the problem, right? Banquo and Fleance is his anxiety. Until they are dead, he cannot be peaceful. Yeah.
But in the nature's copy, not
Eternal. It means eternal here. But she's like, but they're not, they can't do anything to you, right? Nature's copy is not eternal. So it's not going to go on forever. They're not immortal, they will die and then it'll be fine. There's comfort yet. They are assailable. Okay? So they're not immortal. In other words, we can kill them. Right? What are you worried about? We can kill them. He goes, oh, that's comforting. Okay? So there's comfort in that. They are assailable, which means that you can climb them, you can kill them. Then be thou jocund. Jocund means happy. Be thou happy. Here the bat hath flown his cloistered flight. Here to black Hecate summons. Hecate is the god of witches. The shard-born beetle with the drowsy hums hath rung night's yawning peal. There shall be done a deed of dreadful note. Now notice again here, talking to his wife, he does not tell her what he's going to do. He uses vague words. There shall be done a deed of dreadful note. So the night comes, right? Weird chat about night, right? The bat is flying, there's beetles, the witches are out. The night is coming, there will be done a deed of dreadful note, right? This is about night. A deed of dreadful note. But notice that he is super vague. She says,
What's to be done?
what's to be done? So again, she is completely clueless at this point. Clueless. What's to be done? Again, another really important quote here. Be innocent of the knowledge, dearest Chuck, till thou applaud the deed. Now Chuck is like it's belittling. Nobody knows what Chuck means, but it feels like a sort of like, it's like calling a woman dear or love or sweetheart. It belittles her. It makes her seem small, right, and unimportant. So he says, don't you worry about it, right? Be innocent of the knowledge until thou applauds the deed. Now, why might he do this? Why might he not want her to know the details? Yeah. Very good, right? So maybe it's to protect, right? He knows the trauma of crime. So maybe he's trying to protect her, right? Or
Protecting himself.
maybe protecting himself, yeah, right? So protecting her, maybe, or perhaps she is just irrelevant, right? Irrelevant. In other words, the fewer people know, the better. So he's protecting himself.
Maybe he also likes to for her, but it's like not understanding.
Possibly. Well, it shows that they've definitely fallen apart. So you could also add the sense that they have sort of fallen apart at this point. Come, sealing night, scarf up the tender eye of pitiful day, and with thy bloody and invisible hand, cancel and tear to pieces that great bond which keeps me pale. So this, of course, is about Banquo. So in a way, he's almost doing what she does by like appealing to like the spirits, right? Remember when she says, "Come, spirits"? So it's a little bit like 1.5, right? Come, night, and tear Banquo to pieces. Light thickens, so that's dusk, and the crow makes wings to rooky wood. Good things of day begin to droop and drowse, while night's black agents to their praise do rouse. Thou marvelst at my words. So she's shocked, right? Because he starts saying this stuff, right? And it's quite weird. Even in those times, it's quite weird if someone's like, "Come, night, bring with you the dark, blacken the world. You marvel at my words. Behold thee still. Things bad begun make strong themselves by ill." Great line, right? Things bad begun make strong themselves by ill. Things bad begun, so our crimes are strengthened through more crimes, right? So the main crime is Duncan. So bad begun is Duncan. Make strong themselves by ill is Banquo. But there's this idea about crime leads to more crime, right? This is like the story of every single crime thing ever, right? Somebody tries to get more power by doing a crime, and then they have to do more crimes to cover up the crime, and more crimes, and more crimes, and more crimes. And really what this story is about is that Macbeth kills Duncan, then he has to kill Banquo, then he has to become Macduff's family, then he starts like it's killing and killing and killing and killing and killing to try and hold his position. Right? But to have power, he's got to keep putting down the people that threaten you. This is his argument, right? He says, I'm going to make this better by doing more bad stuff. Okay? That is today's scene. There you go. So, a couple of things to do. We've got about 15 minutes or so, so it took slightly longer than I expected.